Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm back again for another Slim Sports interview. As always, I am your host, Jay Slim, and joining me today is a 6'8" forward out of Mount St. Mary's, the high flying, shot blocking, slam dunking, Dola Adebayo. How's it going, Dola?
Going to inbound the basketball for the Mount, and he spins it in. Adebayo's got it. Adebayo turns, goes up, dunks! Dunks!
Doing good, man. Thanks for having me today, sir.
Absolutely, man. You've really taken a big step up over the last few games and throughout this season. Redshirted your true freshman season. Last year, you played about 6 minutes a game, got a few starts, and still managed to produce for your team. But this year, you have absolutely taken another leap and have done a great job so far this season. Talk to me about taking that step up this year. What did you really do during this past offseason and throughout this season so far to really get to be the player you are now?
Talking about the off season, I really spent that time getting stronger because freshman year I felt the physicality, so I know I had to hit the weight room hard this year. So that was the main focus, and just playing is just more about experience. Just throughout the years, gaining more experience, getting comfortable on the floor. That's been helping me, and just building confidence throughout that experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've been able to produce really well on both ends of the floor. Right now, you're averaging 7 points, 4.5 rebounds, shooting over 50% from the field. But the last 6 games you've been starting, you had 16 points and 7 rebounds last game in a win over Siena, 16 and 7 against Rider. You guys went and played Georgetown out of the Big East, and you had 14 against them. You showed them, I don't care if you're high major caliber, I'm going to show you how it's done. And you've definitely done a great job for your team, but also blocking shots, grabbing boards, doing a little bit of everything for your team. What ways would you say as a player you've been able to produce the most for the Mountaineers this season?
Just being an energy player, coming off the bench early in the season, just trying to affect the game in whatever way I see the game needs it. So yeah, just energy, effort, trying to contest shots at the rim, and just continue to build my IQ on that side of the ball because I can always work on it and keep getting better.
Absolutely. There's always ways to get better. And the thing about you that you have as an advantage is your athleticism. Uh, I'm sure people hear that last name Adebayo. A lot of people probably think you might be related to Bam Adebayo. I've asked you before, you've told me no, but I tell you what, you dunk on people and block shots the same way that he does. So who knows? Maybe you're a future NBA All-Star too. You never know anymore. But your athleticism definitely has helped you out a lot. I've seen some crazy poster dunks that you've had throughout this season so far. How do you use that athleticism to your advantage to help you produce for your team?
I want more lobs. First of all, that's what I want to say to my team if they watch this. But just I don't know. Just I mean, I wasn't always athletic, so I've kind of had to learn how to use it. Um, but yeah, I just finish. It helps me finish. Athleticism helps me finish because sometimes the touch shots don't work, so you might as well just put it in the room. So that's what I'll say.
Absolutely, man. You definitely have used that to your advantage a lot, and it's helped you get this starting nod. I know a lot of players, and I'm sure yourself included, they don't really care about starting coming off the bench. They just want to, get those minutes and help their team win. But I'm sure for you, it does mean a lot to be able to get that starting nod from your coach, to have that trust from him, to be able to produce right away from the tip off, especially after having to grow as a player the way you've done the past few years. What does that mean to you to get that starting nod from your head coach?
It means a lot, man. Like you said, it means that they trust me, and I'm doing my best to keep that trust, gain more trust, and help lead people after me, people with me. So yeah.
Now, I've talked a bit about your production this season and how you've had to improve the last few seasons, including that redshirt year. You actually got to learn from some very talented bigs. One of them, I believe, ended up getting drafted into the G League this past off season. What was that redshirt season like for you as a first year college student athlete? learning from these veteran players and not being able to see the floor during games, but being able to practice alongside your teammates?
The redshirt season is a big reason to who I am today. I'm still very close with those veterans that helped me along the way. Just being able to watch them and learn from them and get those reps without me actually being on the court, it was big because getting into college as a true freshman, you know, everything's faster, stronger, plays that you didn't used to run in high school, a lot of things you have to memorize. And like they walked me through that and helped me a lot during that process. So it's a big reason to what I'm doing now.
Yeah, and it's been awesome. And you guys are in a very tough conference. So luckily you've been able to improve and get to be as good as you are because that conference, Siena, as I mentioned, you guys beat them. They've been a powerhouse in that conference for a while. Iona, when they had Rick Pitino. And the funny two things about those teams I just mentioned, last year when you played them, they had guys from your hometown, Fort Myers, Florida. I'm from Fort Myers as well. I got to see you play for Canterbury a little bit before I moved. And trust me, I saw you dunking on people just like everybody else, just like you're doing now. But last year you got to play against Javian McCollum, who has since transferred to University of Oklahoma. He played for Siena, and Berg Jean-Louis, who played at the same high school as you, obviously a few years before you did. And he was at Iona. Now he's playing professional ball. How cool is that for you to be able to play against those guys? It's kind of a small world type of feel.
That was super fun, man. It was super fun. Felt like I was back home, even though super far, but it was just fun, man. Getting to see their faces, talk after the game, take pics. It was super fun.
Was there a lot of smack talking when you went against them? Because I know they were coming at you, driving down the lane, and you were obviously protecting the rim. Uh, did you kind of look at them like, oh yeah, now I really have to block their shot, or I have to score on them? What was that kind of mentality going against those guys that you knew?
Nah, Javian the trash talker. Barrett, what I'm saying? It was more after the game, more respect, but me and Javian are a little closer in that way, so it was more acceptable, But it was fun. It was fun.
Absolutely. You and Javion were in the same graduating class of high school. Both of you are now in your third years of being in college. Barrick was at Canterbury High School a few years before you and had a great career at Iona. And the talent from Southwest Florida overall has just been great. You talk about guys like Emmett Williams, who was in the G League. He was at Lehigh Senior High School for a while. A close friend of mine, Amari Haynes, he's playing pro ball overseas. I went to high school with at Mariner. And then Trey Carroll, I know you know Trey. He's a part of FAU that just went to the Final Four last year. And the list goes on and on. So much talent from that area. Talk to me real quick about that talent level that Southwest Florida has.
Man, I remember my senior year, it was just like rivalry after rivalry. It was just, it felt like everybody had that one player that you had to look out for. And like, we had like a lot of people go D1 that year. So it was competitive.
Oh yeah, I mean, you guys had, I believe it was 5 players that signed to the Division I level from your class out of all those high schools. Yourself, Javian, Trey was a part of that. Tyrone Baker ended up signing to Georgia, and then Tony Green ended up going to Central Michigan. So a lot of great schools, a lot of great high level talent. And obviously, you've been able to improve to the player that you are now. And you're still very young. You still have a couple more years of college basketball after this season. How are you looking to still improve throughout this year and moving forward to be able to grow your game more to help your team?
I'm gonna keep getting stronger, keep getting faster, grow my IQ defensively, offensively. Stay humble most of all. Um, Keep working on my 3-point shot and just improve all around, handle everything.
Absolutely, man. I already see you stretching from beyond the arc and knocking down those threes. You're blocking shots down at the rim. You're playing great perimeter defense for someone of your size, also. So, if you can keep getting better, it's going to be very scary when someone plays Mount St. Mary's. And you guys, so far this season, I know it started off rough. You played some tough teams. I mentioned Georgetown earlier, where you scored 14 points against them. Conference has kind of been back and forth so far. Again, very tough conference. How are you guys pushing forward despite this back and forth start to continue your success? Because you guys are right now on a 2-game win streak. How are you guys looking to continue that win streak moving forward to make it to the championship game of your conference tournament and hopefully to March Madness?
We're just sticking together. Coach is emphasizing respect a lot right now. Respecting our opponents, respecting the grind, respecting working. So that's the main emphasis that we got going into each practice, each day, each game. Just sticking together through the ups and downs and just keeping voices, keeping us up. Not letting the team get down because we know what we're capable of. So, yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I watch your guys' games. You obviously being a high flyer, shot blocking big man for them. Now in that starting role, you have some great players around you. There's no doubt in my mind, you guys can definitely make some noise in this conference. Congrats on a great career so far. I know you got a long ways to go through the rest of your college career and definitely into the pros, man. Definitely proud of you being from my hometown. Gonna keep watching you, keep doing your thing. Dola Adebayo, gonna be knocking some shots out of the air and slamming them on people's heads. Congrats, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Have a good one.